Why do I use P, predicator, instead of V, verb? In our course book, Introduction to Grammar, the term V for verb is used as a clausal function. So, for example, observe on page 33, different patterns are explained there, and the authors use the term subject S, indirect object, direct object. However, they use the term V for verb, and I reject the use of this term, and I insist that you also use the term P for predicator, but I think I should justify why that is the case. You see, in our course book, the book maintains a terminological use, as it's based on another theoretical work, which is called the Communicative Grammar of English, which is a few thousand pages long. There are also other theoretical grammars, and they use P as in predicator. These grammars are categorized differently, but they're very well categorized. Unfortunately, however, these more other theoretical grammars, they're not in line with the majority of grammars which are used in language schools around the world, nor the terminology used in Swedish grammars. So therefore, I use Introduction to Grammar because I think it is a very excellent course book. However, I make some changes, and P is one of them. And now I'm going to give you a mind map overview of why I use P instead of V. I think it's worthwhile that you see this through so you understand why. You see, the main problem is that V is a form, it's not a functional category. P for predicator is a functional category. So let's see if I can talk you through this. If you remember, we had this here. We gave my mother a book for her birthday, and I have this own påhitt, this first divide, and I use the term subj and predicate. Predicate is a common term, subj is something that I've made up. And within the subj, there's in this case, there's no adverbial. However, there is a subject, and the subject is a noun phrase. It's a pronoun, and it's we. Now if we go over to the predicate, and in the predicate we have what I call a predicator, and you'll see why in a moment, an indirect object, my mother, a book, which is a direct object, and for her birthday is an adverbial. It tells you why. And if we open these things up, as we've done before, then the adverbial is realized as a prepositional phrase, and so on. And the direct object is realized as a noun phrase, and it's a determinant and a noun, and the indirect object is a noun phrase. So this clausal function is realized as a noun phrase here, and we open that up as well, all the way. Now, this is why we looked at this. If we look at what I've called the predicator, and if you open up the predicator, you have a verb phrase, and the verb phrase is realized as a verb. And open that up, and it's the verb gave. Now you see here, you see these are all realizations, and these are all phrases. They're also realizations, but of a larger category than these word classes. And here, at this level, we have functions. This is what they do in a clause, in a sentence, the functions. Alright, these here, these are all of these here, oops, these are all forms here. They're not functions. And if this had been called V, then we would have the same term for both a function and a form. And that would actually be much more confusing in the long term. So therefore I use the term P for predicator instead of V for verb, so as to distinguish between clausal function and the form that it is realized in.